I'm Renee Boughman, and I'm the Executive Director of F.A.R.M Cafe. So, F.A.R.M Cafe started with a group of citizens back in 2009 who decided that there was enough need up here for people who had food insecurity that we wanted to do something a little bit different. And we had heard about this type of cafe operating out in Salt Lake City, Utah. So we just got together in 2009, kind of a grassroots group, started meeting at the local library. And by 2012, we were able to get together enough to actually open the doors. We were all working full-time, everybody that was in the original planning, and so it was kind of a dream more than anything that I don't think we ever really believed it would happen. So when it actually came to be and this building became available, we were really blessed. So that's how it kind of a nutshell got started.
So are these COVID-19 times for you a transition time?
Well, we're in the great unknown like everybody else. Our goal is to get back to doing what we do best, which is serving a real good meal with community. Right now, we're going to serve the food curbside, try to do good, nutritious meals, but we're just not able to take volunteers or bring diners in yet until this COVID is a little more under control. And we want to be really safe. We don't want to open, close, and get into that kind of, back and forth. And I think that's going to happen to some folks for sure, because it's a hard call, but it's definitely all the folks that are in health services are saying, take your time, do it right, be slow. We can take 3 people that can come in and order a meal, but we are letting people call. People can come in, so you order the meal, pick up the meal, and leave. And so we just only want about 3 in there at one time, because that's the only social distancing space we have.
And financially?
Well, financially, it's obviously a big challenge to do what we've been doing. What we are able to do to kind of supplement is we're sending a lot of food to the High Country Food Hub. So some of our products that people have enjoyed here, they're able to get through the High Country Food Hub at suggested price and pay as you can. So we feel like that piece is happening. We're still able to do Full Circle, which is our food recovery program. So we're able to send meals to the hospitality house, under coalition.
So the food circle is when that food that you didn't use, you freeze
or
them?
food comes in, normally it comes in donated from different grocers, and then we process it. We make soups and kit meals. And actually right now that stream has been it's starting to open back up, but we're purchasing a lot of that food. So again, it's another challenge, whereas we used to be pushing it through. We want to make sure Full Circle is kind of a combination of both now, purchased items and donated items, whereas before it was primarily donated.
And all the people, the people that could not afford to have a healthy meal that used to come here every day.
Well, some of them have started coming back. This morning when we opened our doors, we had 5 of our regulars back right off the bat. So we're going to feed them. The part that's a challenge right now is that we can't do volunteer for a meal directly, but we can do some things, like they can help us sweep the front, clean the outside. We're just cutting down exposure with each other. So right now, everybody I think is kind of doing what I would call triage. We're just trying to stay open and make sure people get a good meal, and they understand that once we get back to having diners in the cafe, we'll go back to the exchange of volunteers for a meal. But everybody's being really good about it, and our donors have stepped up. They understand. We're still putting out a lot of food. We put out over 4,000 servings of food in the past 2 months at no charge. Some of those groups, like faith groups, for example, St. Mary of the Hills, which is the Episcopal Church in Blowing Rock, they've sent 5 meals in the past month, and instead of them going to the hospitality house like they used to and preparing the food, they sponsor the meal through us. So they give us the money, we purchase the food, we coordinate with them what meal they'd like to serve. They want chicken, vegetables. Then we prepare it and we transport it. So it saves them in this COVID time from being exposed, but they're still doing the mission they believe in, and we're kind of assisting. And we still do distribution to the hospitality house through F.A.R.M Full Circle. And we do distribution with the Health and Hunger Coalition. We do it with Oasis. We do it with Casting Breads. We still do all of these groups that we've been doing. So we are feeding people, but the community piece that we so appreciate, that has to look a little different right now. But it's temporary. For us, it's, we'll hang on as long as we can. The concept of F.A.R.M Cafe is that people can come in, have a meal, a good nutritious meal with as much locally produced food as possible or locally acquired food as possible, and then they can exchange volunteer time for that meal if they're a person in need. We feed everybody, so about 80 to 90% of our diners, when we are taking in diners, actually pay a suggested donation. It's always pay what you can, and those folks are helping the folks who are in need to be able to kind of give them assistance while they're struggling, and then later they can maybe give someone else assistance. But it makes it different than a soup kitchen because we're not just handing it out from processed foods. We're getting it from local farms as much as possible. We're getting it from local distributors, and we hopefully we'll have it in a restaurant setting where everybody can share their story, because that's the concept behind F.A.R.M Cafe, is that you can share your story as well as a meal.